summer of 1969, in an effort to fill a West Central Illinois television broadcast void, Look Television Corporation created WJJY-TV, Channel 14. Located in the small town of Jacksonville, the station was legally licensed to Jacksonville, Springfield, and Quincy, Illinois. That meant the coverage would have to place a city-grade signal over 50 miles from the transmitter on very high grounds near Bluffs, Illinois. To achieve such coverage, WJJY-TV would operate at a very high power level of 4.5 million watts from an antenna located atop a 1,610-foot tower. WJJY-TV utilized an experimental antenna manufactured by the RCA Corporation, and only 3 were ever constructed. Because the station operated on Channel 14, the lowest possible UHF frequency, the physical dimensions of the radiator elements were very large, making the antenna the most massive ever constructed for the commercial UHF market. At a total weight of 26 tons, it was delivered and mounted in 3 separate sections. At that time, WJJY-TV held 2 records. The tower was one of the 3 tallest structures in the Northern Hemisphere, and the transmitter radiated the most powerful UHF TV signal in the world. The enormous power of the transmitter was evident. They began receiving reception reports from as far away as Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and Minneapolis, Minnesota. Sadly, the investor's vision was too short-sighted. Look Television began to run out of money almost as soon as it had signed on the air. After only a year and a half, WJJY-TV ran out of money, time, and good fortune. Without fanfare, Master Control signed off at the normal time after the Dick Cavett Show on September 16, 1971. Forever. The Bluffs tower site, now devoid of a transmitter, was left standing for years as a buyer was sought. Then, on Easter Sunday morning, 1978, WJJY-TV's history ended abruptly and absolutely. In the pre-dawn hours, a late winter storm of unbelievable proportion moved through the area, coating everything in a thick layer of ice. At 1,610 feet, the antenna and tower became a nearly solid block of frozen water, 3 feet thick in many places. The incalculable weight of the ice and the unusually heavy antenna were too much for the structure. The enormous antenna, now weighing several additional tons, began to lean to the southwest. The strain snapped the 16 2-inch coupling bolts that joined the second and third sections. The top section fell to the ground, cutting several of the upper southwest guy wires on the way down. When it hit the ground, it punched a 10-foot hole and bounced out into the adjacent field. The tower, still supporting itself and 2/3 of the antenna, and without guy support, tilted back to the east and folded like an accordion. Most of the material fell on the unoccupied land, but a few tower components and huge blocks of ice had fallen within 20 feet of a farmhouse on the adjacent property. After nearly 40 years, few people even remember the old station. Much concrete and steel still remain after all these years, and even though corn now grows where a microwave dish used to be, the toe of a shoe is all that is needed to unearth small bolts, nuts, and jagged pieces of metal. The property has almost completely returned to farmland. Isolated stakes identify the few remaining massive concrete components. But if you listen hard enough, you can still hear the sound of wind in the 1/3 of a mile tall tower, and even a few broadcasting ghosts. Archaeologists from the future centuries will likely not find the historical location of WJJY-TV. They will only find a mystery.